100 notifications of RTA. As of this early this year, and among of them 336 already enter into force. So I think why regional connectivities become important, and through the regional trade arrangements people or countries are pursuing in trying to getting closer one another. I think one of the reasons because of the flexibilities. Negotiating with several countries in the region certainly is easier rather than negotiating the whole 190 members of the UN in WTO. So one the element things is flexibilities, the important things. The second things, with the flexibilities, it allows countries in the regions move into wider or deepening the regional economic regional integration. So I think those two are considerations why then countries around the regions prefers to conclude or prefers to negotiate in regional trade arrangement. As a result, next slide, please. As a result, you see a spaghetti ball of effect. There's a lot of the FTA, the RTA, which creating a headache for the business firms or business community, because there is a lot of rules of origin which apply in one particular FTA but doesn't apply to different FTA. So this is one of the challenges that we are facing in the countries in the region, ASEAN, Indonesia in particular. So that's why we come up with an idea to establish what we call it the RECEP, or RECAP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. The RCEP, it is quite unique in terms of, once again, the participations of the countries, not only 10 members of the ASEAN, but also additional 5 members of dialogue partner. Why ASEANs become important? I think I provide several data to substantiate these arguments. Why countries around the regions prefers to engage more through regional arrangements. I think it's because of the benefit of trade will outweigh the disadvantage of the trade. There's a lot of discussions about deficit, surplus and deficit. I think the last few years we see countries tend to look the trade through the prisms of a deficit and surpluses. But I think we have to look at beyond that, because with the regional integrations, economic integrations in particular, it will allow countries, particular countries, to develop. So I think this is one of the area. I remember one of the theory which is, I think, still applicable and worth considering for especially for students of Bahria University, to look at the flying gist paradigm, the flying gist theory, whereby one countries they develop their economy using the specifications, decentralizations, and using the divisions of labor between more advanced economy to less advanced economy. So I think this is something that what we've done in countries in the ASEAN together with our dialogue partner, 5 among them in East Asia and Australia and New Zealand, to develop what we call the RCEP. Why the RCEP is important? Because 30% of world populations are residing on those particular regions, more than 3.5 billion. Second, 29% of global GDP lies on the RECAP, lies on the members of the RECAP. Third, 25 world exports also come from the RECAP, come from the countries who are part of the RECAP. So I think this is one of the area whereby ASEAN and 5 member countries or the RECAP are very keen to explore more intensive economic collaborations between among themselves. Now, my questions to you: how do you see Pakistan and ASEAN? There is a lot of talks about, the pivot or the Vision East policies, but we need to look at the implementations of the Look East policies, whether, there's effort in trying to implement the Look East policy, not only at the government level here in Pakistan, but also supported by academia, supported by other stakeholders, business, community, press, and others in trying to respond to those. I've been here for 9 months. What I see is very few in Pakistani who have a think tank or who have, specific dedicated studies to focus on East Asia, let alone Asia. There is few. Even in the capital in Islamabad, for instance, none of them focusing on East Asia, let alone the Asian. So I think while there is a lot of talks about Look East policy, there is a lot of talks about the global economies in the future will lies in East Asia. I think one of the speakers already mentions about the projections of the global economy, but we see lack of focus, lack of interest from, the community here. So I think it is not only the obligations or responsibilities of the governments to promote this, but think tank, academia, universities also can play a role once again in promoting, the trade between ASEAN and Pakistan. If you look at the statistics, this is very interesting because 60 billion trade, more than 60 billion trade between China and ASEAN. Do you know what's number reflecting Pakistan and ASEAN? 7 billion, meaning only 1%. It's very small, minuscule very minuscule portion, whereby there is a lot of potential for Pakistan to have engagement further with the ASEAN. So I don't want to talk about the Indonesians because I think most of you know Bali. How many of you already been in Bali or know places in Bali? But I'll stop here just to put a reflection, food for thought for you. How how the think tank, the academia, the business community contribute in furthering or deepening, strengthening the relationship between Pakistan and ASEAN. There is a lot of similarities which I think the two regions, Pakistan and ASEAN, share a lot in common, not only civilization, but also the religion. So I think with that, I stop this remarks on this, and probably later on the Q&A, I will respond to some of the questions from you. Thank you very much.